You don't need to
I
accommodate the needs of others. You need to respect the needs of others.
respect them.
Yeah.
That is different.
I think needs sort of accommodate themselves because they're necessities. They're necessary, right? Um, I'm
Respect.
yeah. I think it comes down to respect. I don't know. I haven't thought much about the word accommodate, so I'm not sure how that would fit into things. But let's take it from a business perspective. So accommodation would be, say, providing rooms or a hotel or something for people. And your hotel is only going to be successful if you accommodate your guests in a
Mhm.
way, in a manner, in a standard that either A, they're used to, or B, lifts them up to the next level to help them realize that there's more, there's another level in the game that's possible. So be a, be accommodating but not compromising.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so a visiting team comes to play your team. You're accommodating to them. You provide what they need, but you still want to beat them in the game, right?
Yeah.
So you accommodate them, but you don't compromise on who you are.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. As a result, thinking about your thinking. Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
well, I think it comes down to either being productive or unproductive. And there's a certain level of thought which is necessary before performing any activity. Yeah, like if you spend all the time thinking about what the best way is to drive to the city, then you don't get to the city. You have to get in your car and drive. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that we begin. Well, thinking is just the beginning. You know, action and execution are essential parts of the process if you want feedback. So most people who don't achieve much are still thinking about achievement.
Mhm.
They're still considering it. They're still wondering about it. They still have the thoughts about it. Um, what if, right? But it, once something is done, what if becomes irrelevant because the past is in the
It's
past.
over. It's past. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. It's the human psychological traps. What if and regret. There's there's very little positive that can come out of that. Regret will trap us by
Like a lot.
stealing. Yeah, by stealing from the future when we know that we need to move on. Um, I mean, like everything, we need to recognize regrets and keep going.
Mhm.
You know, it, loss is an element of that. Think about if a person dies, right? Yeah, how much time can you positively spend wishing that their life had been different? Not much, because you've got to move on.
Mhm.
And it's tragic, but that doesn't change anything.
Life moves on.
It's hard, it's brutal.
It is. It is.
It's really brutal because because it's brutal because at that point we understand that the spirit extends beyond the physical.
Mhm.
Because you're physically dead, but you're still having an effect on other people and reality around about you. And
Mhm.
I don't think that deep down inside that anybody wants to hold anybody back. I don't think people want to hold, and there, time. People want to, what is the great scientific, goal? It's to play with time. But
Mhm.
that's the one universal law that is beyond us. And all science is an attempt to understand time or reverse time. Like all science is the study of everything backwards. All science is the study of where did this come from. All
Mhm.
science, because we can't go forward. Right? You can't study tomorrow. It hasn't happened yet. All you can study is the past.
How about innovations?
How about reinvention?
Mhm.
Yeah, innovation. How much of okay? There is no There is no innovation. There's only reinvention. And what that means by that is everything that is technical is a copy of everything that is biological. Virtual reality is just an attempt to copy reality. So there's nothing technical that doesn't mirror what is already biological. A lot of the imagination is a result of the images that we have seen. And so a lot of it is not new or different. It's the same story retold in different ways. I mean, how we use our imagination is what makes us human, really. Um, there are three states. Not that this is practical or logical or whatever, or no, it is logical, but not that it's practical or helpful. But there are three states: either A, it exists, or
Mhm.
B, it doesn't exist, or C, it exists somewhere that we are unaware of. And there really can't be anything else.
Mhm.
And all that is good that we understand comes from the proof of evidence that something exists. Because most of the tricks that we fall for, or the lies or the illusions, are based on things that are unreal. The
Mhm.
magician is not really doing magic.
No.
They are just deceiving you.
Mhm.
So there is no magic, really. There's just what you understand to be real and logical, or what you are deceived to believe is real or logical, which is what leads us to mistakes. And there's a lot of misdirection and uh, distraction because,
In our everyday life.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that has some positive and some negative effect. uh, a lot of business is based on dealing with with that contradiction of human needs, that we have everything we need, but we feel like we don't.
Manipulation.
Yeah, yeah, we feel incomplete. Oh, you make me complete. Well, oh my God, that's a disaster because I need to be complete within myself before I can help anyone else. Right? It's like you complete me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm with half a person. Right? It doesn't. It's we sort of trained to believe that it ought to be that way, but um, my experience is it's not like that. I mean, maybe somebody else has a different experience, which is relevant to them. I don't think that 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 I think that's kind of a deception, or it's a play on making other people feel good, right? One
Mm-hmm.
person says to the other person, "You complete me." It makes the other person feel like, "Wow, I'm contributing fantastically to this person's existence." It's a very sort of, I think, selfish perspective there. I don't think it's something that needs to be spoken. I think that real understandings in relationships are completely unspoken. I'm pretty sure that somebody who's Spanish could find their perfect partner who's Japanese, and neither of them could speak each other's language. I'm pretty sure that that's probable. I mean, it's obviously more practical if you can use language to help each other out, right? But I'm pretty sure that it doesn't matter that much,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, if you're an Eskimo, you could probably live quite happily with an Aborigine, right? If you've got habits that, you know, and morals and values that are similar to each other,
Imagine.
right? You might have problems with the hot and the cold thing, but um, yeah, 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 we all limit ourselves, so we all get in our own way. It's sadly inevitable in the human condition that the mind can't spend too much time on the mind. It just it, it as I said, it's the human condition, right? It's the human condition. There's nothing more insane than the study of the human mind, because it is the mind studying the mind, which is unempirical. It's just unempirical. It's insane.